We're really here to talk about the water crisis and how we can solve it, and the investment that you each have made in this work. So I would love to hear a little bit about what each of you, it might be different for everybody around the table really, what it is besides that physical water and maybe even the spiritual. There are other ripple effects that this cause, this work at Never Thirst is helping to solve. So what are some of those for you?
The health part, you go and you see the water tanks at the schools where the girls are running out there to wash their hands, which means now they're going to spend more time in school, less having sicknesses and things like that. Yes. And learning about the hygiene. I mean, when we went there and saw that, it was just like, you know, these kids are all lighting up and smiling. You just realize, wow, the impact. And would you have sent your kid to school without having washed their hands and what have you?
There's no bathroom.
No,
exactly. You have to go out in the fields.
So to have these, you know, wash stations from, you know, the water tanks, it's just, you just go, wow.
And that with our amount of technology and resources in the world we have today, that there are so many people that don't have clean water and don't know how to wash their hands, and parents that are having to give their children water that's making them sick. Like, with what we have in our world today, we need to do something so that's not happening.
It's an injustice. It shouldn't be happening.
Yes.
So.
You know what's occurring to me as I look at each of the families represented here? I think all of us at this table have daughters. Is that right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This is a cause that I didn't realize had such an impact on daughters, future women.
Yeah, and the amount of time, that's something that it was fascinating to learn about that, is that women in other countries a lot of times are responsible for getting the water and making the food. And that literally consumes the entire day because they're sometimes traveling miles to go get clean water or just water. Yeah. And so when you can kind of give them time back, then they have the ability to invest that in their families and their marriages and to be moms again and go to school, right? Especially if you're sending your kids to school and there's clean water there. What a cool experience to be able to know that your kids are healthy.
And often the young girls, they spend so much time, it's hours a day getting water, they can't go to school.
Right. In our church, we had a vacation Bible school where we were helping them using Never Thirst as the mission emphasis for the week. And I was talking to the kids, and we had jerry cans, and we'd filled them with water. And so just challenging them to come up and say, so, like, who wants to come get us? You know, the guys are all like, we can do this. And they, oh, gee, you know, let alone the girls. I mean, it's just mind-blowing to them. And you're like, okay, no, you just barely got it down the aisle. They have to like pick it up, put it on their shoulders, and carry it for miles. And you do it multiple times every day.
Thinking about my own daughter and then knowing, I think I've met all of your daughters, you know, or had interactions with all of your daughters in some way. And I know we spit out numbers at different points, but the most shocking thing for me was when I heard that 73 billion with a B hours a year are spent on the little girls are walking to get water for their family a year, and it just blew my mind. Instead of getting an education, developing their God-given gifts and talents, they just don't have the opportunity.
What have your experiences been in helping to get that stirring going in others? Because that's what it means to really be a champion for a particular cause.
Well, I just had a little visual in my mind of my girls talking to, because they're passionate about it, talking to their friends at school. Like maybe we have an event at our house and they invite all their friends over.
And then all the games have to do with water, right?
All the games. Okay, we're going to have jugs and everyone's going to carry it and we're going to time you.
Relay races.
And we're going to have relay races. Yeah.
So we talk a lot about this idea at the Signatory of solving problems. You've heard me say this before. We want to write the last check to, in this case, dig the well or provide water for that last village who doesn't have clean water. That happens outside of a single family or a single organization. It happens in community. It happens around a table. Do you feel like you're a part of that when you're with Never Thirst and engaged in this kind of community of workers and like-minded believers.
Well, it makes me think of the body of Christ. You know, it's like the hand, and if this hand needs to know something, then this hand can come over and be like, hey, you know, and it's like the body of Christ, that's how he uses us.
Well, like hearing you talk about your girls, then like when I'm talking to my girls about it, I'll think about you, like talking to your girls about it. And I really like your idea of like having friends over and sharing with their friends, because they're making their worldview right now when they're little. So by sharing something like that with them, that's opening up their world and helping them to see, as they're growing into the people they're going to become, that it's not all about what's going on right in front of them.
I can see ideas being generated here, even in this small community, that could start here and become something that really grows well beyond this small table, and becomes a new on-ramp for families, for communities, for schools, for VBS programs, for children's ministries, for youth groups, right? Like, that's
great. Never Thirst Kids Club.
Let's do it.
Something that's really cool to me about this, I think so many people give in silos, and I think there is some sort of a taboo about, like, you know, don't let the right hand know what the left hand is doing and that kind of thing. But I do believe that generosity begets generosity. And I can't tell you how many times I'm thinking of multiple people that I've met with recently that they have asked me, do other people give like I give? And where are they?
This is something you can replicate, even on a regular basis, to continue to share, to continue to create, as Matt talks about, this community of believers that are excited about the work and working together. I mean, just the conversations that have happened around this table, happening in your own homes, around your own table. I'm speaking to myself too, right? Like, we can all do this.
Invite others into the table.
And then invite others.
For the joy, to share in the, the joy.
To share in the joy.
You're providing a tool that we as parents can also help teach our kids about generosity. Establishing some little accounts for your kids that they can say, this is what my cause. Us around the table, our passion is Never Thirst. And that, we love Never Thirst. But not everybody has that passion, but they have other passions. So Signatory is giving them that opportunity or that vehicle to do that. And I think that's important for us as parents to teach our kids.
Because that makes it non-transactional for our kids as well. Right? And it encourages them to figure out what they're passionate about. And as soon as you're passionate, you respond, right, with generosity.
Yeah. And you want it to go on for generations.
That's right.